Alright, what up YouTube? Marley G back at y'all on the episode of Running With Y'all No Cap No Filter. And today I'm running with y'all about Diddy's statement saying R&B is dead. I feel like a lot of people been having this debate like months, maybe a year or two prior to Diddy saying this. But you know, when P Diddy said it, I guess it just get, you know, put back on the forefront of the topic of discussion. And a lot of the current artists, you know, some of them felt like it was disrespectful because, you know, they pour a lot of their heart and their soul into these records that they're making up to date. And they feel like a lot of them are getting overlooked because a lot of the real talented ones, they not really getting pushed on the forefront on the radio. But back then, you had to be talented to get on the radio. Like, you had to be talented to get on the radio. Now, it's probably like a popularity contest, you know, do this artist got a lot of fan base? Do this audience appeal to the masses? You know what I'm saying? Does he trend on TikTok a lot, or does she trend on TikTok a lot? I think it's a lot of politics right now with, you know, getting pushed on the radio or whatever. And let's be honest, the consumer back then ain't have to go through all that. Like, it was more easier to consume, literally and figuratively. Like, now you have to more so get put on an artist from a friend. And even if you got put on that artist from a friend, you ain't gonna really just do your due diligence and just go listen to that shit. You'll have to just overhear it while you with them, like a record, then, you know, hear it again, like another record, and then all of a sudden that you'll say to yourself, okay, let me go check them out my own self. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a lot to go through to hear these other artists that's, you know, not getting a radio play. But even a lot of people think it's an era thing. I don't think it's an era thing. Like, I feel like good music gonna withstand in every era. Cause to debunk that, I'm 32, so I grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s era. So I liked all that shit. But I still have an appreciation for the shit that was in the 70s, and I have an appreciation for the shit that was in the 80s. And speaking of the 80s, the motherfuckers who was like in their 20s and the 80s, they was in their 40s in the early 2000s. So it's like, they was still listening to Genuine. They was still listening to fucking R. Kelly. They was still listening to fucking Joe to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these artists, right? Jaheim. Like, they was still listening to all that, and they was liking that shit. They wasn't saying R&B is dead, you know what I'm saying, in the early 2000s. So that debunked that little theory. You can't even much clean up the motherfucking house to the shit that's current up today. Yep, you ain't trying to clean up the house to gotta eat the booty like groceries. You can't even much have a family function of the shit of the day, like a barbecue. That shit ain't gonna hit like the fucking old shit. You mean to tell me the shit that today could withstand up to shit like Casey and Jodeci All My Life, motherfucking Maxwell, this woman's work, fucking Keith Sweat, Make It Last Forever, all the R. Kelly shit, all the Monica shit, all the Mary J. Blige shit, Brandy, fuck no. Jesse Powell, you, fuck no. Tevin Campbell, Can We Talk, fuck no. Fuck no. It just not gonna hit the soul the same. The substance, the fucking what the producers was doing with the beats and all that back then, the fucking high notes. You know what I'm saying? Do artists even hit high notes anymore? Like, Usher didn't really showed you, you know what I'm saying, how this shit used to be like when he did the Tiny Desk shit. Like, that shit ain't go viral for nothing. People had an appreciation for, you know, these male singers hitting these high notes. So, I don't really think it's an era thing. I really don't think it's an era thing. Like, this ain't the same as the Jay-Z and Lil Wayne debate. And even then, I still go back and listen to some Jay-Z, and I appreciate his songs more now than I was back then because I was younger. But I still think Lil Wayne music is better, but Jay-Z had better substance in his music, I can tell you that. And that's the same thing I feel about the R&B back then. They was talking about actual love. trying to marry somebody, trying to win somebody's love back and get them back, feeling heartbroken, going through it. Now, the hits of today, they're just microwavable hits. It's just something quick to put out. You know what I'm saying? It's a real hit, but will that shit last? Will it hold up and be a hit 20 years from now? Will it still be good in 2042? I don't think the current music of today gonna hold up 20 years from now like the music from 20 years ago. I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, just microwavable hits. It ain't nothing that was the hits back then. It wasn't no microwave hits. Like that shit was some shit that these motherfuckers had to thaw out. These motherfuckers had to season that shit. These motherfuckers had to put that shit in the motherfucking refrigerator, let that motherfucking marinate, and then motherfucking cook that bitch for a good 8 hours. You know what I'm saying? So that bitch could be falling off the bone grizzle when it come off the motherfucking, when it come on the radio. So, yeah, man, that's my theory. Like, when Diddy made that statement, R&B is dead, I don't think it is dead. I just don't think it hit the same. I really don't. I really don't. But, you know, shit, the people, the R&B singers of today, I will say this, they are talented. They can make some hits. They can make some hits now. I just don't think these hits gon' hold up, you know, in the long run. And right now, you know, so much shit just coming in at a very fast paced rate. Like with all the streams and shit and all these little app services, you know what I'm saying? Like radio is going out of style anyway, and it's just like you getting so much of abundance of music, and there's just so much of abundance of new artists and stuff with the internet. It's just hard to keep up. So people's attention span is small. So it's like if your attention span is so small, and it's always a new artist, there's always new songs getting pushed out, you ain't even much got a chance to really appreciate certain songs because it's always something new. And now the consumers are just looking for the next thing very quick. And if we looking for it so quick, you can't even much really have a chance to appreciate what's going on right now. And to me, that's another thing. Like that's another issue right there that play a part. You know, so I think the main things is, you know, the people who they putting on the radio, you know, the abundance of so many different artists due to social media and the internet and streams and all that, and you know, just actual talent and just actual talent. Like music really touches the soul, and music really hit home. And I don't think a lot of the music of today is getting people through shit like how it was back then. I don't think the music of today is making motherfuckers have babies like it was back then. Motherfuckers was really getting married to All My Life. You know what I'm saying? I think the last song motherfuckers will probably get married to is probably that Usher and Wale Matrimony. That's probably like the last song. Other than that, these motherfuckers ain't trying to get married. They being toxic. They being toxic. Like that's the main thing. Nobody got love no more. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be toxic. Everybody don't want to have no heart. But let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. Like, you know what I'm saying? Is R&B dead? Or is it still alive but it just don't hit the same? Like, let me know in the comment section down below. And put your age in there so we can get some context with your answers. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid.